Welcome to our deep dive into the myths and facts surrounding climate change. Our planet, this extraordinary life-giving sphere, is in a state of flux. The climate, that delicate balance of temperature and weather patterns, is changing at an unprecedented rate. Today, we'll separate fiction from reality and help you understand the truth about our planet's climate. Our planet's climate has always been subject to change. From the dawn of time, Earth has experienced a myriad of climatic shifts, each leaving an indelible mark on the planet's surface. These changes, driven by natural forces, have shaped the world we know today. Over millennia, ice ages have come and gone, leaving their mark on the land. Massive glaciers once covered vast areas, carving out valleys and shaping mountains as they advanced and retreated. These ice ages were a testament to the planet's ever-changing climate, driven by natural cycles and variations in Earth's orbit. Volcanic eruptions, too, have played their part, spewing forth gases and ash that can temporarily cool the atmosphere. These eruptions release particles that reflect sunlight, leading to short-term cooling periods. The impact of these natural events, though significant, was always temporary, allowing the climate to eventually stabilize. These natural fluctuations are a testament to the dynamic nature of our world. From the shifting of tectonic plates to the ebb and flow of ocean currents, Earth's climate has always been in a state of flux. This dynamic system has allowed life to adapt and thrive in a variety of environments, from lush rainforests to arid deserts. But the changes we are witnessing today are different. Unlike the gradual shifts of the past, today's climate change is happening at an alarming rate. The rapid increase in global temperatures is unprecedented, and the consequences are far-reaching. This accelerated warming is not a result of natural cycles, but is driven by human activity. The rate of warming is unprecedented in human history, far outpacing any natural variations. Scientific data shows a sharp rise in global temperatures over the past century, correlating with the Industrial Revolution and the widespread use of fossil fuels. This rapid warming is causing polar ice caps to melt at an alarming rate, contributing to rising sea levels. The driving force behind this acceleration? Human activity. Our industrial activities, deforestation and reliance on fossil fuels are pumping vast quantities of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane, trap heat and prevent it from escaping into space, leading to a warming effect known as the greenhouse effect. Our reliance on fossil fuels, the very lifeblood of modern civilization, is releasing vast quantities of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Coal, oil, and natural gas have powered our economies and transformed our societies, but at a significant cost to the environment. The burning of these fuels releases carbon dioxide, a major contributor to global warming. These gases trap heat, causing the planet to warm. The more greenhouse gases we emit, the more heat gets trapped, leading to a cascade of effects on our climate system. This warming is not just a future threat, it is happening now, affecting weather patterns, sea levels, and ecosystems around the world. Like a blanket drawn too tight, this excess heat is disrupting the delicate balance of our climate system. The consequences are already being felt with more frequent and severe weather events such as hurricanes, droughts, and heat waves. The challenge we face is immense, but understanding the causes and impacts of climate change is the first step towards finding solutions. The evidence is compelling. Scientists around the world have been meticulously gathering data, and the results are clear. Since the Industrial Revolution, the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has skyrocketed. This period marked a significant turning point in human history where the advent of machinery and mass production began to reshape our world. This increase coincides precisely with the rise of human industry, as factories and industrial zones began to dominate landscapes. The relentless pursuit of progress and economic growth led to an unprecedented surge in the burning of fossil fuels. The burning of coal and oil became the backbone of industrialization, powering factories, transportation, and homes. These activities, while driving technological advancements, also released vast amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And it wasn't just fossil fuels. The clearing of forests for agriculture and urban development further exacerbated the problem. Trees, which naturally absorb carbon dioxide, were cut down at an alarming rate, reducing the planet's ability to regulate this greenhouse gas. These activities release carbon dioxide, a potent greenhouse gas, into the atmosphere. The cumulative effect of these emissions has been profound, altering the delicate balance of our planet's climate system. Like a giant experiment, we have altered the very composition of the air we breathe. Scientists have been studying these changes, conducting experiments and analyzing data to understand the full impact of our actions. And the consequences are becoming increasingly apparent. Global temperatures are rising, leading to more frequent and severe heat waves. These temperature changes are not just numbers on a graph. They have real-world impacts on ecosystems and human societies. Ice caps are melting at an alarming rate, contributing to rising sea levels. The loss of polar ice not only affects sea levels but also disrupts habitats for wildlife, such as polar bears and seals, which depend on ice for survival. Sea levels are creeping upwards, threatening coastal communities around the world. Flooding and erosion are becoming more common, displacing people and causing significant economic damage. These changes are not isolated incidents, they are interconnected, part of a larger pattern of climate change driven by human activity. Extreme weather events such as hurricanes, droughts and wildfires are becoming more frequent and intense, further highlighting the urgent need for action. Chapter 3. The myth of scientific disagreement. One often hears claims that scientists disagree about climate change. This is simply not true. The overwhelming majority of climate scientists, over 97%, agree that climate change is happening and that human activities are the primary cause. This consensus is not based on mere opinion, but on decades of rigorous scientific research. Thousands of studies conducted by independent researchers around the world all point to the same conclusion. Our planet is warming, and we are the cause. This is not a fringe theory, it is the scientific consensus supported by an overwhelming body of evidence. Chapter 4. The Voices of Expertise. Imagine a vast library, its shelves stacked with the collected knowledge of thousands of experts. This is what it means to have a scientific consensus. It's not just one or two voices, it's a chorus of agreement from the world's leading scientists. These are the people who have dedicated their lives to understanding our planet, who have spent countless hours analyzing data, conducting experiments, and publishing their findings in peer-reviewed journals. When they speak with such overwhelming agreement, it is our responsibility to listen. To ignore their warnings is to disregard the very foundation of scientific knowledge. Chapter 5. A Shared Future. It is tempting to think that climate change is a distant threat, something that will affect future generations but not our own. However, this is far from the truth. The reality is that climate change is already here, and its effects are being felt across the globe. From the melting glaciers in the Arctic to the dry, cracked earth in drought-stricken regions, the signs are all around us. This is a dangerous misconception. Believing that we have time to spare only delays the urgent action needed to mitigate these effects. The more we wait, the more severe the consequences will be. People are already raising their voices, holding warning signs, and participating in climate protests to draw attention to the immediate need for change. The impacts of climate change are already being felt around the world. Flooded streets, raging forest fires, and parched lands are becoming more common. These events are not isolated incidents, but part of a growing pattern of extreme weather conditions that are reshaping our environment. Extreme weather events such as hurricanes, droughts, and wildfires are becoming more frequent and more intense. The increasing severity of these events is a clear indicator that our climate is changing at an unprecedented rate. And wildfires are becoming more frequent and more intense. The aftermath of these events leaves communities devastated, with homes destroyed, lives lost, and ecosystems disrupted. The dried up riverbeds and scorched landscapes are stark reminders of the toll that climate change is taking on our planet. Sea levels are rising, threatening coastal communities. Coastal erosion and flooding are becoming more prevalent, putting millions of people at risk. Cities and towns that once thrived are now facing the threat of being submerged, altering the way of life for countless individuals. These impacts are not evenly distributed. Some regions are more vulnerable than others. Drought-stricken farmlands and flooded villages are becoming more common in certain areas, leading to displacement and hardship for many families. The disparity in how different regions are affected highlights the need for a global response to this crisis. But no corner of the globe will be spared from the consequences of our actions. The interconnectedness of our world means that the effects of climate change will ripple across borders, impacting people from all walks of life. Whether it's a storm hitting various countries or a global map showing affected areas, the message is clear: we are all in this together. This is not a problem for future generations to solve, it is a challenge we must face together now. Communities around the world are already taking action, from children planting trees to diverse groups of people working together on climate initiatives. These efforts show that collective action can make a difference. By coming together and addressing this issue head-on, we can create a shared future that is sustainable and resilient for generations to come. Outro, our collective responsibility. Thank you for joining us in debunking these common myths about climate change. The journey to understanding our planet's climate can be complex, but it is a journey we must undertake together. Remember, understanding the facts is the first step towards making a difference. Stay informed, stay proactive, and let's work together to protect our planet.